these two countries have prominent economy despite not having a strong military, which is absolutely true. But after World War II, these two countries rose from their ashes and their economy grew with the help of USA's military. Now, coming from a military background myself, I have seen my father and his comrades spend day and night protecting this nation, putting their blood and sweat into it. Are we, as the youth of the nation, really undermining the military of this country? As General Dwight once said, a people that values his economy
Good morning, respected Mr. Speaker and all the members of the House. Here we have the motion, economic might of a nation will take it to superpower stature more than military might. As a famous political economist, Louis Okelso has said, political power without economic power is derived. And so, Mr. Speaker, I firmly support this motion and request for it to be passed. To begin with my argument, let us first understand what the term superpower means. In short terms, it means global influence as well as global leadership. And here, Mr. Speaker, my argument is that for a nation to reach this status, it is not weapons but wealth that truly matter. For this, the first point I present is that militaries need money, not the other way around. Mr. Speaker, even the strongest armies collapse without money. As Napoleon once said, an army marches on its stomach. But what feeds the stomach? Obviously the economy. Let us also consider the Soviet Union, which was once a superpower. Even though it had the largest number of nuclear arsenals and the strongest military base in the world, it still collapsed in 1991, not on the battlefield, but in bankruptcy. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is clear that economy is not just more important, it is the very lifeline of military power. Next, fear creates enemies while economies create allies. Mr. Speaker, we do not see nations queuing up to do business with North Korea despite its missiles. However, we do see them line up to do trade with Japan or Germany, nations that wield economic clout rather than military threats. As Kofi Annan of the United Nations has said, education and trade are the true engines of peace. Following which, the third important point is that true power is measured not by missiles but by markets. Mr. Speaker, let us consider Great Britain, which was once a superpower, reigning for more than 200 years. But due to the exhaustion of its economic resources as well as the credit burden from the United States, it lost its status after the Second World War. In contrast, the US became a superpower after the war, mainly because of the fact that it joined the war later on after firmly securing economic might. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, India is being highly regarded by the world today because of its $4.1 trillion economy. And so, Mr. Speaker, as the World Bank has noted, sustained development, not warfare, is the true path to global leadership. So, Mr. Speaker, this motion must be passed. The fourth point, Mr. Speaker, is that military victories are temporary, while economic victories are permanent. Mr. Speaker, from Iraq to the Soviet Union, history shows the same pattern. That is, nations that pour their wealth on wars lose both prosperity and power. In contrast, let's look at China. It did not enter in any Gulf wars, and yet it has become the world's largest factory, mainly due to innovations in its economy. And so, it is also expected to become a superpower by 2030. Since this
Now I call upon the George Speaker, R.B. Soleabe, to speak against this.
Honorable Chairman, respected members of the House, there is no runner-up in war. It is the victor and vanquished. I, Kenneth Soleabe, of Sainik School, emphatically propound that it is military might that decides who the victor and vanquished are at all times. History clearly unveils the fact that military power is the foundation on which economic power rests. A strong economy without a shield of military power is like a house of gold with no walls. For instance, Kuwait in 1990 was an oil-rich nation, economically prosperous and militarily weak. Within days, it was invaded by Iraq. Its wealth cannot save. It was rescued only because of the military intervention of stronger nations. This shows that without military, economic might is futile. The Roman Empire during its peak era, around 117 Common Era, was the most developed nation, or a superpower. How? Because of its vast military conquests. Their military was the strongest, thus bringing prosperity to the nation. It is as good as Napoleon Bonaparte once said that God fights on the side with the best artillery. Now let us examine India. India is a rising economy, yes, but can economic growth alone make it a superpower nation when it faces nuclear armed Pakistan on one side and then the aggressive China on the other? Obviously not. India spends rupees 5.25 now crore on defense annually. It is one of the world's largest arms importers. The government is rapidly focusing on indigenous defense production. Why? Because without military modernization, economic achievements will remain exposed and insecure. Yes, I acknowledge that the nature of power has shifted. The idea of expansionism has declined in its physical sense. But cyber warfare, drone strikes, and network-centric wars are a new reality. Even in this new era, wars are still fought, borders are still defended, and sovereignty is still protected by military force, albeit in different realms. Frederick the Great of Russia once said that diplomacy without arms is like music without instruments. No matter the economy, without military force, diplomacy is meaningless. Now, the United States, Mr. Chairman, the superpower nation we know today, was in the same vicinity. The American War of Independence fought between the Continental Army and the British Army, and the victory of the Continental Army resulted in the title superpower nation today. Economic sanctions may hurt the country, but military threats wipe out the whole country. The nation still remains influential even with economic struggles. For instance, North Korea is economically weak, yet the world cannot ignore it because of its nuclear arsenal. The same is not the case for economically strong but militarily weak nations. Through your media, Mr. Chairman, I attempt to convince the learned opponents that military superstatus is not just about trade figures. It is about influence and authority. It is about visible presence. Nations are respected, even feared, not for their GDP, but for their military power. For instance, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, were the Americans scared of the economic power of the Japanese? No, Mr. Chairman, no. Instead, with confidence in their military power, the destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki took place, ultimately garnering the world's attention. Why was the United States considered the sole superpower after the Cold War? It is not just because of its economic power, it is because of its military, its unmatched military, its aircraft carriers, fighter jets, and nuclear arsenal. These prove that military might defines superpower status far more than economic might. Economic might may buy friendships, military might guarantee survival, independence, and respect. I stand firm that it is the military might that ultimately drives a nation to superpower status. Economics builds prosperity. Military builds power. Without power, prosperity is at the mercy of others. Pen might be mightier than the sword. Military might is definitely mightier than economic might, since it ensures the existence of a nation. Thank you.
To present his arguments for the motion.
Honorable Chairman and respected members of the House, good morning. I am an honorment of signing School Park, and today I stand here in firm commitment to resolutely endorse the motion. Economic might of the nation will bring it to superpower stature more than military might. History bears testimony. The mighty Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, not because its arsenal was empty. On the contrary, it had nuclear stockpiles that could destroy Earth several times over. Yet, it crumbled under the unbearable weight of an unsustainable economy. Mr. Chair, contrast this with China, with barely one overseas military base compared to America's 750. China is still widely regarded as a rising superpower of the century. Why? Because of its $18 trillion economy, the world's second largest. Clearly, economic clout speaks far louder than global guns. Second, economic might fuels soft power and global influence. How, my worthy opponents might wonder. Think of Apple, Coca-Cola, Samsung, Yoga, Bollywood, TikTok. All of these are weapons, not of the military type, but more potent as they shape cultures and markets across the globe. The dominance of the US dollar is not safeguarded by USA's spending, but by the world's unwavering support of the American economy. Likewise, Mr. Chairman, more nations today fear losing access to Chinese trade rather than confronting its navy in the South China Sea. As Janabia wisely stated, he who has wealth has friends and relations. He alone survives and is respected. That is the silent, persuasive strength of economics. My third submission, Honorable Chairman, is the fact that military strength itself is sustained by economic foundations. It is wealth that builds warships and fuels fighter jets. During the Second World War, the Allies prevailed not only through courage, but through superior economic capacity. America outproduced its enemies, producing tanks, planes, and ships at the scale the Axis power simply could not match. Even today, Mr. Chairman, America's colossal $877 billion budget is possible only because it is underwritten by the world's largest economy. Thus, military might is the muscle, but economic might is the heartbeat. And without the heartbeat, the muscle simply collapses. Allow me to draw a contemporary example. Japan, despite constitutional restrictions on its military, remains a global force to its economy. Germany, devoid of nuclear weapons, is still considered Europe's undisputed powerhouse. On the other hand, North Korea brandishes nuclear missiles but struggles to keep its citizens fed and its lights on. Sir, that is not superpower status. It is, if I may say, super poverty status. Napoleon Bonaparte himself saw skating, an army marches on its stomach, which means without food, supplies, and economy, even the mightiest army falter. Finally, consider the wars of the future. They will not merely be fought with bombs and tanks, but with sanctions, supply chains, and semiconductors. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, the world's immediate response was not to send in troops, but to unleash economic weapons, cutting Moscow off from a swift banking system, restricting exports, and freezing billions in assets. At that moment, Mr. Chairman, dollars were mightier than drones. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, military might may win a battle, but economic might secures peace. Military might may conquer territories, but economic might ensures stability and resultingly territorial integrity. A nation with adequate economy can always build an army, but an army without an economy is like a smartphone without a battery. Impressive on the outside, but utterly useless to the user, yet more musical
Thank you. Last but not the least, I would like to call upon the 14th debater, Vikas Gupta, to speak against the motion.
Chairman, all judges and speakers. I'm here today to have a speech against the motion that economy alone can become a nation superpower. It's true that economy is important, but it's also true without military, a nation cannot be imagined. In this whole world, there are more than 200 countries, but there are several countries without military, and they are interdependent on other countries to protect themselves from other invasion. Take us an example. Japan has a GDP about $4 trillion and $4 billion approximately, and it is lag behind, yet not become a superpower. Not become a superpower as today because its funding to military is very less. It's about 1.9% of its funding goes to military. Today I am very glad to say that I live in a nation that gives military its priority. Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan is a slogan given by Lal Bahadur Shastri, and he commits that military is equally important as farmers, and to economy is okay. I will go to a topic where I know economy is crucial, but something is more important than economy is military power. It's because it's the foundation of economy. And we know that Germany, Singapore, Ireland are economically giant countries, but lag behind as a superpower. It simply shows that we could sorry sir thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. We will now be moving into the rebuttal round. Before we begin, I would like to announce to the debaters that at the end of 1 minute, a warning bell will be given, and at the end of 2 minutes, a final bell will be given. I call upon the first member, Ria Thompson, to present the rebuttal for their side.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ria Kamza, and today I will be representing for the motion. Let me start by asking, can you name a single country who rose to power because Military may protect borders, but economy sustains our future and secures superpower stature. So I urge you to pass this motion because and accept that fear-based power is nothing against everlasting economic power. Thank you.
Believing that it is final, thank you. All in opposition of the House, please raise up your hands. Thank you. I believe we now have a clear majority. I now declare that the motion of the House is rejected. Thank you. I would also like to announce that a volunteer speaker will be speaking later. This concludes our debate on the motion. I thank all the members for their eloquence, logic, and engagement. I also thank our respected judges, timekeeper, scorers, and the audience for being part of this debate. Once again, thank you, and let's continue to value respectful discourse and critical thinking in all discussions. This session is now concluded. Now I would like to hand over the mic to ministers. Thank you.
Thank you, Cadet Alex Nam, School Captain, and Cadet Mayanglampam Santika, and all the wonderful speakers of the inter-school debate competition. Now I take this opportunity to invite our chief guest, Professor N. Lokendro Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Manipur University, to kindly come up on stage and release the commemorative stamp on the occasion of the 54th Raising Day celebration of Sainik School Imphal. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. I also request our Honorable Principal Colonel Hiraji to kindly present the school memento as a token of love and appreciation for the gracious presence of today's chief guest. Sir, please. Now may I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor N. Lokendro Singh, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Mr. Rajmohan Singh, former Vice Chancellor, University. Shri Pratik Amnova, Editor of Part-2 of Art and Politics, and former Editor of English. Brother, the great concept school, very, very distinguished invitees, this great occasion of to our school, basically, all the cadets of our school, alumni of friends from India and ladies and gentlemen. I consider it as an honor and a good opportunity to be in the midst of such a very, very distinguished person for gifts. When the invitation comes to the office of the Vice this occasion, it was very difficult for me to say no, and immediately I said, under any circumstances, I have to be very, very close to the events of the house of the school, because they are all aware of the contributions and very, very distinguished achievements of the house of the school. And we go always a very small space. We have many well-dressed and very distinguished members of Sunday school and support. We have the Rani, we have the Siddhanta, so many other individuals, and distinctly, of course, I have great people that the parents of housing school have achieved extremely well in NTA as well as the IMA examinations. We are all very much impressed by the performance and achievement of the housing school. And this is all because of the sincere work, contributions, and farsightedness of the leader, mother, and principal of the housing school. Today's debate, I must say, is a very interesting debate. And there are portions of the house that economic might of the nation will take into the superpowers given us, then the political might. It is a very well thought out, very, very well balanced and very clearly examined portion of the house. And I must give my thanks to the person who has framed this motion, because the speakers from the house will certainly be able to argue for or against the motion of the house with a lot of information, with a lot of facts, historical narratives, with a lot of logical arguments for and against the house. And I was absolutely amazed. I was extremely impressed by the way of how many of the speakers have argued their points of view. Very clearly, they had such a good command of the theme of the motion of the house. They had also argued so well. And I remember that many of the proceedings of India's parliament in the United Nations, I used to think that many of these speakers may sometimes represent the state of Manipur in the great India's parliament house, as well as many other international parliaments. They have such a clarity, resolving of clarity of their arguments, and when they were trying to make the arguments, so much of factual evidences with proper justifications have been put forward. I was listening to most of their arguments with very apt attention, and I was extremely impressed with the very things. And I wish that we should have argued it like that in our earlier days in the colleges and universities. I would like to say that the contemporary international scenario, all of you are aware of North Korea, it's a great military power, it's a nuclear power, and often not every day we see in the TV and newspapers that the leaders of North Korea are just impressed with such terrific speed and excellence. It's very amazing and it's really unbelievable to see what is coming out in Qatar, in Doha, and all these places. Similarly, there are also a number of examples. In the polar region, for example, have to get some information about Finland, about say Greenland. A country like Switzerland, for example. In Switzerland, there are only 4 working days of development in a week. Only 4 working days. And all those people who do not get job, they are provided, their allowances at the rate of around $3,000. And all the inhabitants of Switzerland used to travel, used to spend their time visiting countrysides and many other exciting places. Their own country as in Europe and all the places. Therefore, there are enough evidences and there are enough facts to argue by the speakers on both sides. Can either come from this side or even against the institution of the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajiv, for your it's a nice pleasure of inviting me to this great occasion. I really wanted to attend this civic school. It was way back in 1967, 68, 69, when I was student of secondary school. I was almost admitted in the Gold Class Secondary School, but I could not. And I really wanted to be a part of this. It's a very gathering. The moment I hear about it, I said, absolutely, I must be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your presence here today. It has indeed been a real privilege to have you amidst us. We would have loved to have you with us till the end of the program, but due to certain unavoidable circumstances, the chief guest will be leaving us now. In between, we will be having a short tea break of 20 minutes, after which I request everyone to be seated again in this auditorium by 11:50 hours to continue with today's celebration. After the tea break, our Chief Judge, Mrs. Pooja Ilambam, IAS Deputy Commissioner of Bishnupur, is requested to kindly take over as the chief guest for the remaining part of today's program. Thank you, everyone. Now we will have a short tea break.
And the western hills of Manipur emerge into Koykundalan, also known as Koykundan, northern foregrounds of Manipur.
Energetic, rhythmic, and full of life, this travel dance captures the heartbeat of the hills, the joy of harvest, the strength of community, and the spirit of celebration.
Two traditions, two rhythms, one stage.
So sit back and let the story unfold of rituals and rebellion, of devotion and dance.
We proudly present to you echoes of the dance passion of Manipur and Koykundan. I guess this is
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I'm Kenneth Landon.
And I'm Kenneth Landon.
We just witnessed the traditional folk dance of Manipur. It was indeed a wonderful performance by cadets of Sunday School.
Now, let us move on to the next event, the Hindi song.
The life of a soldier is one of incredible commitment. It is a life lived far away from the comforts of home, from the warmth of a mother's embrace, and from the playful company of siblings and friends.
Our next performance is a tribute to their profound sacrifice. It is a song that beautifully captures the universal emotion of a soldier, the longing for home, the power of a single letter, and the unwavering promise to return.
This song became the nation's voice for every family that waits and every soldier who protects. The lyrics are a heartfelt conversation between the Zawans and the messages that comes from the heartland of India.
From this anxious wait of a beloved to the single prayer of a mother, Sandese Aapeke honors the emotional backbone of our armed force, the families back home.
And who better to perform this song than the young patriots being forth right here in Chinese Korean Farm?
Let us listen not just with our ears, but with our hearts. So now, let us welcome Sandese
and gentlemen,
I'm Cadet Sandika.
and I am Cadet Aditya. And now, we transition from a stage of song and dance to a display of power, precision, and deep historical significance. This next performance here reminds us of the warrior tradition that runs deep in the soil of Manipur and the legacy that we uphold here inside the school of road.
Indeed, we're about to witness an electrifying display of Thangka, the ancient martial art of Manipur. It's not merely a combat style, it's a blend of war strategy, discipline, and artistic grace.
Tata is a study in focus control, where every calculated move, every swift strike, and every intricate footwork pattern tells us a story of the battles fought by our ancestors. It demands absolute concentration, physical strength, and a clear, composed mind. Qualities, of course, that every cadet strives for.
We're proud to present Cadet Rones Atopa and Cadet Michael Chumador of Class 11. Let's welcome them with a thunderous applause that echoes the spirit of a school and the warrior heart of a day. Now, let us witness the strength and skill of Tata. The stage is theirs.
Now, we step into the grand finale of today's celebration, the prize distribution ceremony. It's time to recognize the intellect, eloquence, and effort shown by all our brilliant participants.
Indeed, whether you have taken home a trophy or simply taken part, you have already made your school proud. But yes, there are a few who manage to outthink, outdebate, and outspeak the rest.
May we invite OVM President Sir Wangke Gurkuchand, and number 128, Vice President Ashim Bedi, and number 407, General Secretary Santaraj Sinasa, and number 871 on stage to distribute the participation certificates. Sir, please.
Next, we have Aurora Jayan Choktham of RK Sanatomi Devi Vidyalaya. Next, we have Sanya Begum of 100 Flower Higher Secondary School. Next, we have Marzia of 100 Flower Higher Secondary School. Next, we have Vasudha Kudum of SB Gabriel School. Next, we have Vimitha Michael of SB Gabriel School. Next, we have Amar Jotham of Kanan Devi Memorial School. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to call up the Vice President to give out the participation certificates. Next, we have Brady Lycrum of KB number 1 in farm. I would also like to call up Thamrapa Patrasana of DG Higher Secondary School. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to call up the General Secretary to hand out the participation certificates. Sir, please. Next, we have Cadet R.B. Solaway of Science College Farm. Next, we have Cadet Nora Anthony of Science College Farm. At last, we have Prakash Gupta of Anand Devi Memorial School. Thank you everyone for your energetic participation in our Part-2 visit ceremony. I would also like to thank the Finance School Alumni Association for sponsoring this inter-school English debate competition. Thank you, sir. A big round of applause for the whole Boys Association, please.
Your respected panel of judges, we extend our deepest gratitude. Each judge will receive a memento and a copy of the Sunday School Informed Pocket Magazine. I kindly request Principal Sunday School Informed, Colonel Eraji, to kindly do the honors. I also request our first judge, Miss Pooja Elanga, to come on stage. Ma'am, sir, please. Next, I call our next judge, Professor Rajmohan Nagoti, to come up on stage. Last, I call on our third judge, Mr. Pradeep Panjawal, to come on stage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And our scorers have also not been forgotten either. They will be receiving special tokens of appreciation as well. I request Sir Shoji, DGP Science, to please come up on the stage. I also request Ma'am Bhavani, DGP Science, to please also come up on the stage. I also request Sir Manoranjan, DGP Science, to please also come up on the stage. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request our chief guest, Mrs. Pooja Ilanga, IAS, District Collector of the Vishnupur District to kindly facilitate the consolation certificates and the winner-up of today's inter-school English debate competition. First, as our third consolation prize, it goes to Supriya Sana Saikom of TV Gamfair. The next consolation prize goes to Riya Kanjam of R.K. Sanatoli Devi Vidyalaya. Our next consolation prize goes to Aurora Jalit Chongtham of R.K. Sanatoli Devi Vidyalaya.
And now, let's begin with the top 3 prizes of this debate competition. The third prize is a tie. Any guesses? Any guesses? It goes to Kangratnam Patrasana of TG Higher Secondary School and Lucia Devi, TG Higher Secondary School. It carries a cash prize of rupees 1,000 each, a book and a certificate. Please kindly come up on stage. The second prize goes to Army Solomon of Sunday School. And a certificate. Last but not the least, the most awaited first prize goes to absolutely no victory of Sunday School.
The school which team bags the inter-school English debate competition trophy is Sunny School in Front. I would like to request the participants and the teacher in charge to please come on the stage to receive the prizes. Sir, please. Teacher in charge, please come on stage. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to request our chief guest to please address the gathering. Ma'am, please.
Before raising the celebrations and inter-school English debate, I commend all the participants who have come here and spoke so well. All the schools have done so well, and even if the fact that you came here on stage and spoke what you know and tried to explain the topic and tried to explain your thoughts and your analytical ability is commendable. And it doesn't matter if you falter or fumble, that's how you learn and that's how you get better each time. I remember my own school days when I also used to participate in elocution and debate competitions in school and college, and I must say that I was very bad compared to all the speakers who came here today. I remember also faltering, fumbling, and even fainting at some point. So I think it's wonderful that at such a young age you have the confidence and you have the ability to stand in front of so many people and speak a very informed debate. Once again, I would also like to congratulate Principal Sir and the entire faculty of Sainik School for organizing a wonderful celebration here, and as well as all the students who came and presented the cultural program. I can imagine the amount of hours and the amount of training that was gone to each performance, because I was also a student not very long ago, and I also remember having sleepless nights, practicing with our teachers, with our guides, making sure that each piece of dance, each piece of performance is done as perfect as possible. So I can understand the excitement and also the hard work and the persistence and the training that goes into each and every performance. And I congratulate you on such a wonderful, heartwarming performance. And I hope that you will cherish this moment because once you get out of school and go into the real world outside, then everything changes. So the friends you make, the friendships you have, the kind of support and guidance you get from your teachers, you will not get anymore once you go out of this hallowed halls. So it's very important to make each moment last and to cherish each moment with your teachers and with your fellow students. And I wish that all of you will have a wonderful year ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for enriching words of encouragement. Sunny School in Front will never forget ma'am's presence with us. Now I would like to request Mr. Arama Mohan Singh, Senior Master Sunny School in Front, to propose the word of thanks. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I, on behalf of Sainik School in Front fraternity, as an officiating vice principal, would like to thank Today's guest, Mrs. Pujalato, IAS, DCP Sumo, for her kind consent to take over as chief guest, and the valuable suggestions and the knowledge he has given to our cadets and the students from the participating schools. Ma'am is a renowned bureaucrat, everybody must be knowing. She works at the grassroots level, hearing the grievances of the villagers and the farmers, and nonetheless, she is one of the few elite officers who have initiated a bookstore cafe to improve the reading habits of the young minds. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to thank the other judges, Professor Rasmohan, former BC, Dhanamanturi University. To me, sir is a scientist. From now onwards, 15 to 20 years back, I used to go to the chemistry department of the Manipur University to take his valuable suggestions for my cadets, those who participate in the science exhibitions, science seminar. And with his valuable guidance, our cadets have succeeded not only at the state level, but at the national level, taking the first position. And some of the few cadets, under the guidance of Sir Rasmohan, those who have succeeded are Miranda Thopram, who was selected to visit Madame Curie's lab in Poland. Our ace cadet, Patrick Thopram, is also an IAS officer. He was also awarded ABBY under the project and guidance by Sir Rasmohan. Those are the contributions of Sir, which we will never forget. Your kind contribution and guidance given to our school. And the next, I would also like to thank the renowned journalist, which is very popular in our nations, not only in our state, Mr. Pradeep Mazoba. He is one of the elite journalists who can throw light on any subject which we discuss. Thank you, sir, for your kind consent to be the judge for today's auspicious day. I would like to thank the principal of the other participating schools. I thank Madam Vinita Elanmo, Principal, TG Higher Secondary School, for your kind presence here. I also thank Mr. Dinavali, Principal of SB Canton School, who has consented to grace our functions. I would also like to thank the All Boys Association, especially the President, Mr. Kukul, Vice President, Mr. Badavani, and the Secretary, Mr. Shankaras, for the immense contributions given to the Science School. At the same time, I would like to thank the serving officers and the retired officers who have consented to grace today's function. And not the least, the staff of Science School Inform, who has worked day and night to come out with such a wonderful Basic Day celebrations. To name a few, Mrs. Meneka, who is a Manipuri teacher, she has come out with all that good and hard work and dedications which she has contributed, which you have seen the cultural program. The cultural program was organized without a music and dance teacher. She has taken the sole responsibility. The in charges of the debate, I would like to thank Mr. Haq and his team for the contribution for the successful debate. And not the least, the men who are working behind the screen, Watermaster and his sections, for upbringing such a wonderful venue. I would like to thank all the general employees for the successful Magic Day. So once again, I thank all the invitees, dignitaries, cadets, and the teachers from the other schools. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. for your kind contribution for today's Raising Day celebration. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
One announcement, the commemorative stamp released today as part of the 54th Raising Day celebration of Sunny School Imphal is now available for sale. Those who are interested may kindly contact our teacher in charge, Mr. T.H. Thoibase.